Hello everyone, Rob here from California Hike and Bike. I'm here to talk to you today about the follow-up review for this beautiful custom Russell day-long seat. We just got back from a 10-day, 3,400 mile ride from Central California to Yellowstone and back. And this thing performed very well. I'm going to tell you about it. I'm going to tell you a little bit about the trip first. So stick around because you may need to know. Okay, so first a little housekeeping. I'm going to be posting several review videos here in the next couple of weeks, starting with the Helite free air mesh jacket that this tether attaches to. It's the full jacket, not the vest, so you might want to know about that. I'm also going to talk about the 7J Rock windscreen that I have here, the airflow wings that I have, the winglets, and also the Ilium barbacks. So if that interests you, please subscribe. If you like this video, press the like button. Let's go. Let's take a look at some of the highlights from my trip, starting with day one. Ebbit's Pass on Highway 4 is a high mountain pass through the Sierra Nevada range in Alpine County, California. Alpine County is just north of Yosemite National Park, and as you can see, it contains some absolutely beautiful country. Some of the large, majestic redwoods along the way were certainly a sight to see. As I approached some of these amazing views, I was simply in awe, as you can see here. This is a beautiful reservoir named Kinney Reservoir along Ebbit's Pass. From Reno to Springville, there is really not much to mention. It was a lot of this and pretty much this, until we came to the eastbound Salt Flats rest area near Bonneville Salt Flats. As you can see here, the westbound side of the Salt Flats are actually much more interesting to visit. In Reno and in Springville, Utah, we stayed at an Airbnb. I highly recommend doing this, especially if you have a group of people. Our group of 7 easily fit in both locations for the night. It also felt safer there for our bikes rather than staying in a hotel parking lot. Provo Canyon was another highlight of our trip. It is definitely God's country, and Bridal Veil Falls seen here is a must stop. After Provo Canyon, it wasn't long until we got into Wyoming. Another good stop on the southwest side of Wyoming is Little America. It contains all the facilities including fuel, restaurants, and restrooms and it's also the home of the 75-cent ice cream cone. Day 4, we relaxed in terms of riding a bit and did some whitewater rafting on the Snake River. We were pleased to see a bald eagle along the way. Day 5, we rode into Yellowstone, and almost immediately we experienced the Wyoming Rush Hour.
Cow.
Holy
Okay, so all kidding aside, beware of the animals on the roadway. One state highway sign warned that the pronghorn can enter the roadway at 55 miles per hour. This is not surprising since they're considered the fastest land animal in the United States. On the way to the south gates to Yellowstone, you pass the Grand Tetons on the left. The view of this majestic mountain range is actually awe-inspiring and sometimes so beautiful they don't even look real. Soon after the Grand Tetons, we arrived at the south gate to Yellowstone. A quick warning here, I came very close to dumping my bike for the first time with Liz aboard at the gates to Yellowstone. The reason is there's a lot of hot ruts from heavy vehicular traffic right at the gate. So while in stop and go traffic, it's easy to get caught in one of those ruts. So beware. I'll be quiet for a minute or two so you can enjoy some of the pictures from Yellowstone.
Watch me sway, darkness falls, and we all pray, hoping for the light of day. Down to the river, I have held the devil's hand, felt the weight of my own sin, burdened by the heart of man. Down to the river.
On the way home from Reno, we decided to try a different route rather than Ebbit's Pass. We took the Tioga Pass into Yosemite and then to Highway 41 to go home.
Taught me how to give. Both of them had their own sins. Down to the river.
A note about Yosemite. As of July 2021, if you're just passing through Yosemite, you can obtain a 3-hour pass at the gates without reservation. Otherwise, if one bike in your party has a season pass, the pass is actually good for 2 motorcycles. to fit 10 days of riding and activities into less than 10 minutes, but you know, so don't fault me on what I missed out on, because I probably did it and I probably have footage on it. It's just too much to add to this video. I want to tell you that after about 5 months of owning the Russell Daylong seat, I noticed that I was sliding forward, and I called Jay at Russell Daylong, and this is a tip that for you, for those of you who own a Russell Daylong, this might help. And what Jay told me is that there are Velcro fasteners that fasten the back of the seat to the backrest portion of this seat here. And what he told me to do was take my fist and knead the seat downwards. And when I did that, he told me I was going to hear the Velcro fasteners loosening up a little bit. And I did do that. However, it still wasn't enough. I did a 3-day ride down to the canyons in Southern California. Still wasn't enough. So I went back to Russell Daylong. They got me in very quickly, and they adjusted the seat, and it was absolutely perfect after that. I was ready to go, and I was getting ready to do my bucket list, which was Central California to Yellowstone and back, which was a little over 3,400 miles. We did it in 10 days. Some days were leisure, some days were very long, 10 to 11 to 12 hours. Liz rode with me. We were 2 up the entire way, and she described riding on this for the entire trip like riding on the living room sofa. What she meant by that is I would be heading into a curve, like a long winding curve, and as I started to lean into the curve, I'd feel this. And it was because she is asleep. She fell asleep many, many times during this trip, and luckily the build of this really just kind of kept her secure, along with her legs are pretty snug here, and she a lot of times rests her arms on the back here. Let's see if I can get here. Stay. When she's back here, she leans into this and puts her arms like this. So she's pretty secure here, even if she does fall asleep. It's not a great thing, not something I would suggest, but it happens. So it was extremely comfortable for her, in her opinion, and that makes me happy. In terms of, for me, the backrest absolutely saved my lower back. During this entire trip, my arse and my back were not an issue, and it was all because of the Russell Daylong. Even on the 12-hour rides, the only thing that really occurred for me was a little bit of hand and wrist fatigue and soreness just from riding all day long, and it's a little bit more difficult when you're 2 up. It was absolutely worth the investment. Everything that I did cost just under $1,200. Both seats, so 2 up, and the additional backrest, the addition of the backrest. It's a custom backrest that they made for me. And I will show you one thing real quick. It's very easy to remove this backrest. It stays in there fairly snug. There's a metal channel right here. You slide it in, and there you go. On this backrest, there is a knob here that you can slide up and down to position it on your back where you like it. I like it all the way, almost all the way up to the top. It's about 1 inch lower than the very topmost position. And for me, that works best for me, not only for my back, but also while I'm in the 2 up position. It provides a channel for Liz's legs to come through and be comfortable. It doesn't interfere with her seating at all. There's also a small screw knob right here, and what that does, it gives you about maybe 3/4 of an inch play forward and back, so you can adjust the position forward and back on your back. Definitely worth the investment. I don't think I would have enjoyed this trip at all on the stock seat. The stock seat, I would have been 2 hours into the trip and already complaining. So, Russell Daylong is named very aptly because it is absolutely a day-long seat and more, because it was never an issue. So if you're thinking about going with Russell Daylong, have no qualms, don't even hesitate, get it. And I'm not being paid for this as an advertisement or anything like that. I'm just Joe Schmo, consumer, and I can highly recommend it. So ride safe and have a good time.
Darkness falls and we all pray, hoping for the light of day down to the river.